We're here to talk about a release that you have out called Nosotros, where you pay tribute to the music of your mother, Edie Gourmet,
Yes.
and Los Panchos, Trios Los Panchos. So it's a very special release. It's How long has it been out? When did it come out?
It came out in September.
In September, so it's been out for a few months now, and it's just beautiful. And I imagine you must be getting all kinds of accolades about this.
The response has been great, better actually than I could have dreamed. And I'm just happy that people are responding in the way that I had hoped them to, which would be just hearing the passion that I put into this project, the love that went into it, and my musicality, that comes from my heart, my soul. So I was very very touched to know that people feel that way.
Let's give our listeners a bit of a background in case they don't know. You're a well-respected, hard-working artist, and you've done a lot of producing a lot of music for television
and film, yeah, and records.
So you're well established there. But in case you don't know, his parents are also Edie Gourmet and Steve Lawrence. So you come from a rather legendary couple.
Yes.
Who really made a name for themselves back when. I'm sure all of our listeners remember Edie Gourmet and Steve Lawrence. So those are your folks. And are they the ones who instilled in you a love of music?
Absolutely. I mean, the music was in our house 24/7. Whether they were rehearsing, whether composers and arrangers were coming into the house, whether they were playing reference material, it was just constantly. You couldn't avoid it.
And did you get to do any traveling with them when they were on tour?
When I was young, my brother and I traveled all around the country with them and to Europe when we were very young. It was not until we got a little older and homework became more of an issue that our teachers wouldn't let us go on the road with my parents anymore.
But I imagine that provided you with such an education that, as you say, would influence you in what your career choices were. I mean, you could not have gone to a better school, so to
speak.
No
question. And I think for me also, it was also in a sense a school of hard knocks because I not only saw the finished product of them in tuxedo and gowns, but I would see the pain and frustration in rehearsing and getting things right when they weren't right yesterday, and these keys are wrong, and this band isn't doing it the right way, and the arrangement just isn't right. My voice isn't happening today. So you see all the hard work that goes into it, not just the panache and the flash at the end.
Yeah, you saw all aspects of it,
yeah.
And you still wanted to get involved with
Well, yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. What can I say? In truth, I knew what I didn't want to be was a performer. When I started out, I just felt that space in my family was already filled times two. So I pursued being a composer of film, television, ballet, songwriting, producer with my songwriting partner and my wife, Faye Greenberg. And it really wasn't until this record that I wanted to kind of be front and center. I mean, I've been singing backup for 100 years. My wife and I have been writing records for Earth, Wind & Fire straight through High School Musical and blah, blah, blah. I'm on all these records. You don't hear me. I'm just in the background having a great time. But this is the first time I wanted to be front and center to do this tribute to my mom. Yeah. And I was, blessed with both of their voices. So I'm putting it to good use now.
Yeah, thank goodness. I'm sure they are up in the great rumbone in the sky, looking down and saying, good job, son.
Yeah.
And it's the music that your mother produced and recorded with Trios Los Panchos is so iconic.
Yes.
It's legendary. I mean, in the Latino community, as you know, everybody had it practically at home. I still have my parents' records of these recordings.
Mm-hmm.
We listened to it all the time. I grew up with it. And people who, not from the Latino community, they were just crossover hits, so they knew the music. So this music really was just so amazing and was so well received by all different kinds of audiences. And did your mother have any clue how big it was going to get? The reaction that she was going to get when she recorded these tunes with Los Panchos?
I don't think so. I mean, she was put together with Los Panchos at Columbia Records by the head of Columbia Records at that time, Goddard Lieberson, and they just were put together and they started making records. And I don't think anybody expected it to be as phenomenal a success as it was. And I think primarily because boleros, until my mom started singing with Los Panchos, were basically, the style originated in Cuba, and then it came to Latin America in the 30s and the 40s, and bolero then exploded in the 30s and 40s, but as basically a three-man group, with the tres guitarras and et cetera, et cetera. And it wasn't until my mom basically reimagined these songs as a lead singer front and center with the Los Panchos atrás behind her, that it was a new way to present the style of bolero, and with a sultry voice in front, which also had never been done before. So I think it was an amazing awakening for audiences
Yeah.
to hear it this way.
And I know a lot of people were really surprised how beautifully she sang in Spanish, but we should not have been so surprised. But we probably, most of us didn't know really a lot about her background, but Spanish was not really a foreign language to
No,
her.
it was spoken fluently in the family. All of her ancestors originally are from northern Spain, and then through Turkey and Italy, and then ended up in Brooklyn and the Bronx. But Spanish was spoken at home regularly.
Yeah, so they were just beautiful, beautiful production, beautiful recordings that are timeless, actually. And what inspired you to want to do this tribute tour? And we're going to play something. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play something but from this new CD soon. But what inspired you to do this tribute?
Basically, I always wanted to go back into the studio with my mom and redo some of these boleros later on in her life, and then and produce them fresh and new recordings, and then basically kind of go on a little farewell tour with her, say goodbye to her fans as she was getting older. And she was really excited by that, but I think at the end got a little cold feet. And after she died, I did an interview with W Radio in Miami, and basically it was about her career as a English-speaking star and a Spanish-speaking star. And I spent months trying to figure out, I want to honor her. I mean, she was just such a titan in both languages. And my wife suggested that I go back and think about doing the boleros again, but just do it on my own now as a way of saying, I love you, Mom. I'm sorry we couldn't do this together, but now I'm doing it for you. And it was a spiritual impulse, and it's been a passion project, and I never looked back. It was I felt her in the studio, for the last 3 years on my shoulder, just as my guiding light.
Well, it's a beautiful album, and I really do appreciate that you bring back her memory, but then you make these songs your own as well, which is nice,
Well,
which is hard to do when you're dealing with songs and versions that are, we have in our mind what they should
Well,
sound
of
like.
course, and because I'm a musician and a trained composer, and I live in soul and jazz and salsa, and I wanted to basically still honor the structure and genre of bolero, but I didn't want to do it the way anybody else ever did. I wanted to do it my way, because that's the way I wanted to say to my mom, thanks. I didn't need to recreate it the way it was. I wanted to make it special. So it's got all my Brazilian jazz and Latin jazz influence into it.
It does. So let's listen to it too. We're going to be listening to, of course, Sabor a Mi. Isn't that sometimes called the national anthem of East LA?
Oh, that's great.
The Sabor a Mi from David Lawrence's release, Nosotros, a tribute to the music of Edie Gourmet and Los Panchos, right here on Global Village, KPFK Los Angeles. So we're going to be listening to another tune from the release, Nosotros, a tribute to the music of Edie Gourmet and Los Panchos, David Lawrence. Something about música de trio is just so magical. When you listen to trios that are still recording today, it's that unique blend of the beautiful playing of the guitars and everything, but then just those incredible voices, the harmony that they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so beautiful.
That was something that also influenced me greatly in my album, because I took those vocal sensibilities and then made them my own. So I really went crazy with vocal harmonies on this record, and I was thrilled with the result. But I really wanted to. That was my inspiration as well, is to make sure those vocals sing.
David, if people want to know more about you or more about the recording and how they might get it, is there a website or?
Oh yeah. Skillfully put together by my two social media gurus, Valeska Thomas, who's with me today, and Charlene Kay, who designed the website. She's in New York. You can find me at, Valeska, help me if I get this wrong, www.officialdavidlawrence.com.
All right, very good. And if people want the release?
I'm sorry?
If they want to get a copy of Nosotros, just all the usual places?
Same place. There's a link to actually get a copy of the CD.
Oh,
And
great.
I also neglected to mention that my incredible, fabulous public relations representative, Mariluz Gonzalez, is here
Mariluz
tonight.
Gonzalez.
It's the reason why I'm here today.
Have I
Mariluz.
heard that name
Yeah,
before?
she's just an awesome human being.
Hello, Trios
Yeah.
Los
No,
Panchos.
just awesome human being. Thank you, Mariluz.
Always nice to see familiar and friendly faces here at the studio. Let's give a listen now to Luna Lunera. What can you tell us about this tune?
Well, actually, I was thinking about, depending on how much time we have, if we have time for only one more cut, I would pick a different song.
Which one would you
I
pick?
would pick Corazón a Corazón. De
Okay.
Corazón a Corazón. It features a kind of everybody that I brought into the album. It features the Janet DeCall, who is doing all these background vocals with me. She was starring in the Heights on Broadway, and she's actually on tour right now in the band's visit. It features Linda Breseño playing trumpet, who is a disciple of Arturo Sandoval. She won Producer of the Year Latin Grammy last year, first female ever. She's blowing on it as a solo at the end. And I'm really, really proud of this song because the original version of this song, you would never know was the original version of this song, and I just went vocal crazy on this, and really proud of how it came out.
Okay, let's give a listen. This is going to be perfect timing. It's going to take us to the top of the hour. We're going to listen to the community calendar, a couple of spots, and then we'll be back.
Great.
Because I do want to play a little bit of your mom's music
Awesome.
as well.
Awesome.
So we're going to listen to the Corazón a Corazón, Heart to Heart, or From Heart to Heart, with David Lawrence. Again, Nosotros, a tribute to the music of Edie Gourmet and Los Panchos here on Global Village. And we're still here in the studio with David Lawrence. And David, I think it's time that we listen to a little bit from your mom and Trios Los Panchos. And I was just saying, you know, what a gift you were given by your parents.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know, I mean, really, they left you not only, you know, all the stuff that they shared with you, but such beautiful music, you know, and you've continued on, you've continued your legacy, doing new and different things, and just how wonderful is that?
It's amazing. You know, I would just say it's one thing to be given a gift. It's another thing to take that gift and do something with it. And that's what I've spent my life doing. I took that gift and I've been spending my life doing hopefully good stuff with it.
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to listen to your mom with Trios Los Panchos doing the Vereda Tropical. It's always one of our favorites in the family.
Mine too.
Anything you want to say about that song?
I also have a cover of this on my record, and I love this song because of how different it is. It's a bolero, but there's a wonderful sort of island feel to this song that is not in any of the other boleros that I've heard. And I know it says Vereda Tropical, but there is an island sort of tropical calmness and soothingness, even though the lyric kind of comes in and out of love, pain, and sadness, which is what I love about bolero style. But it's a very soothing song to me. I always felt it very, very peaceful and just sort of, I always imagine myself on a sandy white beach listening to this
exactly.
song.
It's a beautiful song,
Yeah.
and your mom did such a beautiful version, and so did you. But now it's your mom's turn.
Go, Mom.
So listen to Edie Gourmet and Trios Los Panchos. And David, thank you so much for taking time this morning to be here, share your music with us, and I hope that you'll always remember that you've got friends here at KPFK. Whenever you do anything else, let us know. We'll be happy to have you
I
back to
will.
the station.
I'm honored to have been here today. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and again, many thanks to KPFK and Mariluz and Mortores and yourself for extending the opportunity to be here as many times I've been here the last couple of months. So thank you very much.
Thanks, David. Thanks for the great music. Inspired by your mom, who we're going to listen to right now, right here on Global Village, KPFK Los Angeles.